All right, we're back. Bubba's is here today.
Special appearance.
Yes. Back from the woods of the Northlands.
Oh, yeah.
I have to talk a minute about that. I said it'd be short. I guess we'll keep it short unless you want to talk about it. But
I don't know how many people are on here to listen for elk hunting, but yeah, I could give a short little.
Yeah, you can give a little synopsis, a little outline.
So, me, Dad, and then John went up to Wyoming elk hunting, and we were there a total of. We were in the woods, I think 8 days or 7 days. Anyways, at one point we went 6 days with no shower. So that was pretty fun. In fact, I didn't feel that bad about it until and let me preface this. I know that there's a lot of people that go a lot longer for different situations. But anyways, I didn't feel that bad until we decided we were going to go to town and take a shower. And once we decided that, I felt so disgusting. I could not.
It's all about the mind.
It has to be. Because, like, in my mind, I knew, like, we weren't going to take a shower. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I was like, okay, when we decided to hike a mile and a half out to the truck, go to our base camp, grab some clothes, and then go to town, which was like another hour and a half, I was like, couldn't wait to take a shower.
Mm-hmm. Did you, after you took your shower, did you smell how bad your clothes smelled?
Oh, it was rank.
Did you have multiple? Because
I wore the same clothes
the whole trip.
Well, no.
Well, I meant once you showered, did you actually have a second set?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was in fresh clothes and everything.
A lot of me doesn't miss those days, dude, of that. And I was younger too, so it didn't bother me as bad. You know how I am now, man.
Yeah. So luckily, it was cooler weather. So it was like, you're still sweating, because you're hiking. You're super active, you know?
Mm.
But it wasn't like you were sweating just sitting there. So you were not just like swampy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like with a lot of the new clothing gear and stuff, like the synthetics, they dry out so good that it's like you don't really notice it too much. And I mean, honestly, like I'm a big Gold Bond guy. Like people laugh, whatever, but I actually didn't need to use any. And like when we ever go to like Disneyland or whatever, I'm like powdering that stuff up. You know what I mean? Like I'm using that nonstop.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, every bathroom break I'm in there. You know,
it's like a cloud coming over the urinals on the Gold Bond.
Exactly. So I had some, but I wasn't even using it. But anyways, so we kind of got off on that, but we had a good time. Like we had a lot of fun, and actually, I'm just like, I didn't kill one. I was close 2 separate times on 2 different days, where I thought I was gonna get a shot, but the one time the wind had changed on me, and they winded us. Second time, well, I think they did. They did. Like we didn't hear them. Like spook or anything, but they went quiet and we were really close, and I know the direction they were going, and the way I was stalking into them, they were going towards like my downwind. So anyways, and then the second time everything was perfect, but I think what happened is this bull followed these cows over this, basically it was a saddle that we were on. And I think he followed them onto the other side, and we just couldn't get to him. But we saw a lot of good bulls. We saw 6 separate bulls. I think they were all for sure 5 points, possibly 6 points. I think probably.
Do they have any width, or are they just more points longer?
No, they were good bulls. Mm-hmm. Like they were good bulls. One of the bulls was a small, like 4 point or so, like he was like a raghorn. And actually he was with like 8 cows. We never saw another bull with those. But then, okay, so I take that back. Something I saw this year that was pretty cool that I haven't seen before in the woods personally was a bull raking a tree. Like just going
actually you watched him.
Yeah, I was glassing him, watching him.
That's cool.
Do it for probably 10 minutes or so. He was just going to town on this little tree, real green young tree. He was a 5-point. He was actually close enough that I could distinguish with just my binos because I wasn't packing a spotting scope. Anyways, so he was a 5-point. That other 4-point I mentioned already. The other ones I seen, it was really, really tough. I mean, I feel like they were 6 points, but I could be wrong. They were good. But yeah, we we were in them. That's for sure. It's just closing that distance with a bow in that terrain. It was just tough. But
one thing I was talking to you about. I was like, it's crazy to me because what's his first name? Dudley's first name. Do you know who I'm talking about? Knock on Archery. Do you follow him? He's actually a really good.
I know the name, but I don't watch him.
He's actually a really good guy to follow. I've never seen someone do so much great advice. I mean, you were talking about that one guy, but it's kind of cool. His posts are almost like a story, like separate posts. Anyways, he was saying his goal. He's been hunting for years, and he said his goal was to kill a bull above the tree line. And basically, what you were kind of describing is those elk where you were at, were like mountain goats. They hadn't moved down. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't in the trees, but I'm saying a lot of them. You said you seen elk up above the tree line, didn't you?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Just real brief, but like we got there, and there's this huge ridge that runs north and south, and I think I looked it up online. It's like 20 or 30 miles long. That
one you showed me on Onyx, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's where you hunted the whole time?
Yeah.
Were you on that ridge or were you on another one looking over?
No, I was on the west side of that ridge and basically hunting that ridge and looking over. And we had hiked to the bottom of the west side of the ridge, but we were camped on the east side of the ridge.
Why didn't you move camp?
Water.
Oh. There was no water on that west side, huh?
So there was, but that's where the elk were.
Oh.
So there was no water around up top, and it wasn't like you could find this little valley or ravine that was kind of away, and then hunt. It was like it was that ridge. There was a lake on the side where we camped, and then on the other side there was no water, north or south, nowhere close unless you went to the bottom. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. Anyways, so
they would go down the mountain every night to drink. Wow, but to them that's nothing.
Nothing.
That's crazy.
To us,
but that was a lot, huh?
Insane. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so like the first day we kind of hunted around camp, and when I say camp, we hiked like 1.5 miles in, which isn't that far, but we hiked there and decided to camp there because of the water. So we hunted the whole east. No, yeah, that would be east side, and nothing. Didn't hear anything. Didn't see nothing. So the next day, I was like, I'm gonna go up and over the top, and it was like 1/2 mile hike to get to the top, but it was really steep. And so we went up there, and the first day we went up there, we were hearing bugles already. So we're like, awesome, that's cool, whatever. We heard 2 separate bulls bugling, and I go, let's go over to towards this one because he sounds closer. Well, on the top of the ridge, you can cover ground really fast because it's flat. Well, we went over there and got kind of closer. Well, I don't know which direction they were moving or what, but we were just on the top, and this bull was sounding off. Like, man, they're getting close, or they sound close, but it was weird because it was so thick, not differentiating, but judging sounds and distances was actually pretty hard. either that or they're just moving so fast. Well, anyways, I don't know if it was a bull or what, but there was an elk that ended up winding us because we were up above where the bugle was. So I don't know if there was cows in front or if he was moving up or whatever happened, but he ended up winding us at like, I don't know, 70 or 80 yards and going off. So we ended up trying to go towards that other bull, but we weren't able to like get on him in time before, he shut up for the afternoon, and we weren't able to get on him that evening. So from then on, we pretty much kept making that hike up and over. And honestly trying to learn the ground because like without horses like that, those mountains are so big. Like you don't want to just go off walking in a direction. Like, so you're on top of the ridge, everything else is down. So like even picking your way to go down that mountain or ridge is like, you don't want to just be flippant about it. Like we pretty much make our way down on the tops of the ridge. Because if you were trying to like go up and down, like you're going to kill yourself. So anyways, we were trying to find elk on that side of the ridge, and there were elk there. It was just getting on them was the difficulty. So, the first time we got really close, it was just me and John. Dad wasn't with us. And, we were, let's see what happened. No, this was actually a separate time. We went north and we were glassing. That was another thing about this place is there wasn't a lot of good glassing points. So you were kind of depending on sounds. And the thing about Wyoming is their wind is so crazy. Like it would be calm for like an hour, and then all of a sudden here'd come like a front, and it would be so loud you couldn't hear anything. So even if they were bugling, you couldn't hear them. And so we were on the top, and we found this spot. It kind of came out, and it was a good spot to glass this other mountain that we actually never went over to. But it was actually like, it was a literal mile away across. So we were glassing. All of a sudden, we hear this bugle back off to our left. And I was like, that don't sound too far. Bugle again. I said, let's go over here just a little bit and see if we can hear him a little better, see if we can, like, spot him. So he goes off again. It's like, okay, he's basically 2 ridges over. There's a small finger that's in between us, and then there's this other decent-sized ridge that comes off of the main ridge. So I'm like, let's go back. So instead of going down, up again, I said, let's go to the top, which we were basically at the top, come over, and then come down that ridge that he's on. So we get like halfway, and there's an opening on that ridge, and I see 2 cows in it, and I hear him bugling off below him. It's like, okay. So where they're out on the ridge, they're like halfway up. And so we come back to the top, and the issue, like I said, was the wind. So it was like always changing. So we tried to come in down below him, like in the bottom of it, like it's not a creek, but like in the ravine. And the wind was kind of switching between back, or like going up and going down. So I was trying to crosswind them, like basically come in where the wind's either going to my left or right, instead of risking it coming up above and then the wind change and goes down to him. You know what I mean? So, anyways, we started coming down that ravine. Well, we ended up getting busted by 2 cows that were like, I don't know if they were part of the same herd because they were like a couple 100 yards from where we had spotted those other elk. So I don't know. But anyways, that was that encounter. And then a separate time is on the same ridge. I think we encountered this same bull. That's what I think, like 3 times. Because I ended up calling him Ghost because we'd been on him 3 times, been within 90 yards of him 3 times, and never actually seen him. It was always his cows. Like I seen his feet, but I never seen his whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, Dad was with us, or no, that was the last time. Second time, me and John had hiked to the very bottom of that west side, and I mean, it was way down there. We were trying to get on this other bull, but he ended up not wanting to come down because he was like halfway up that mountain. And so we gave that up, and it was going to take probably 2 hours to get back to camp. So we started hiking up, and we get about halfway up, and all of a sudden this bull screams like 150 yards above us. And it's calm, it's clear, the wind's coming down, and I'm like, this is like perfect. We're like exhausted already, but we're like, it's perfect. So I'm like, let's just go up here like 50 yards or whatever and set up. So we started calling. He started screaming at us, and he was coming right towards us. And then there was this opening in front of us with some trees in the middle, and I seen his legs go across that, but I never seen him, and I know he never winded us. So I think he was like mad that one of his cows was below him when they were all moving over that saddle. But that's just a guess. But anyways, I thought he was gonna be dead on that one. But anyways, and then the last encounter, Dad was with us this time, and he was actually calling, keeping that bull bugling, and I was trying to get in. But the problem with that, back to the terrain, we were moving like good. Like Dad was saying like we should have went faster, but he didn't realize that there was a finger in between us and the ridge that they were on. But by this time I had already bumped two elk 2 separate times trying to go fast. So I was maybe a little more cautious. And so by the time I got like within 80 to 90 yards, that bull, like it had already been like 45 minutes. And so, and it was weird. We couldn't even hear Dad calling anymore. But we could hear that bull. Yeah. That's what's so weird about like when you get down and he was up on top, you literally can't even hear it. So I'm like, how do you know if there's a bull over there 500 yards? You don't. So all in all, it was a blast. I think we all lost some weight from it, but it's like I didn't get my fix. You know what I mean? Like I was exhausted physically, but like I was like so ready for that trip.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything like that I would do different. Like I don't really think we made like huge mistakes on anything. It's just that last little thing. You know what I mean? Just that last little distance. Because every other way, I feel like we were ready for that trip. So.
Yeah, but that's the joys of elk hunting,
Yeah.
You could do that for 3 years and never shoot nothing. It was funny when you were away, I didn't tell you this, but you were like, you went in Thursday, I think? Like, where you went out of service, kind of? You drove Wednesday.
Which time, when we first got there?
Yeah. You drove in Wednesday and kind of went in Thursday afternoon, right?
I think so.
It was like Sunday, Saturday, or Sunday, like literally 2 days in, and Darian's like, I'm like, have you heard from him? And she's like, no. And she goes, I cannot believe they haven't got one yet. I started dying laughing. I go, Darian, this isn't duck hunting. I said,
yeah.
I go, very well, he could go and not get anything. I said, the chances are that's probably what's going to happen. She goes, what? They spent all that time out there for nothing. I go, Darian, that's the joys of big game. I said, ain't nothing like waterfowl.
Yeah.
But when you do connect, man, it's a big, big rush. So
I will say that those 2 separate times that the adrenaline level was so high, it was crazy. Like I forgot.
It stays.
I forgot about the adrenaline high with elk. It was pretty intense, and like I was like, because you're thinking about all this stuff. It's been a long time since we've been elk hunting, and I was like, thinking about all that. Like, everybody always talks about visualizing different things, whether it's anything, sports, lifting, hunting, whatever. And I was thinking about that, like, okay, when I do get in, like, not to have, like, to stay focused, you know what I mean, and calm. And, like, I actually did have to tell myself, like, hey, relax. You know what I mean? Because I was already thinking that in my mind. But then when it was happening, I was like, just relax. You know what I mean? Because the adrenaline was just like skyrocket. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Hopefully next year. I mean, I knew there was a chance. You were an elk. I go, if we ain't hearing from him, he's an elk. Otherwise, he'd be packing out and moving to another location.
Yeah.
So at least you're an elk every day, dude.
Yeah.
That don't happen every time. I've been on trips you don't even ever see any elk. That's why they call them what that goes to the forest or something. But anyways, let me say this real quick on Motion Ducks. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by Motion Ducks. Check them out. We partner with them again this year. They've always been good to us, and their product, well, I was going to say, we've tried to push for them, but their product's always been good to us. It's always worked for us so well. And it's a motion rig set up for your decoys. There's nothing like it out there on the market for sure right now. It's simple, but it's so useful, and it works so good. So we did a special page. Ben at Motion Ducks did a special page just for the listeners and for people that watch the channel. Go to motionx.com/MVM. Get a really good discount on the Ultimate Spreader. Then if you put the code MVM10 in, you get an additional 10% off. So go check it out. And don't just do it for us. Do it for yourself. Trust me. It works. Thomas can vouch that since I'm usually one saying it by myself.
Yeah, we're about to use it pretty soon.
We will be using it ASAP. So let's. I know that was kind of a quick synopsis on your hunt. Put 20 minutes into 9 days, 10 days. That's kind of tough for your elk hunt. But
yeah.
Anyways, let's jump into some new duck gear. Just kind of, it don't have to be a lot. One thing I wanted to mention right out the gate while you're kind of thinking maybe, and we have so much stuff, and some of it we toss, some of it we keep and we'll use for years and years. But one thing that is new this year, I will say, is that I really like, and I don't know if you tried it on or wore it at all yet, but is Final Approach's, man, I can't remember, I never can remember the name of it though. It's
Akuda.
The Akuda Grid Hoodie. So I used to like Sitka's face mask thing, and it still serves a purpose. Like if I was turkey hunting or not, something I didn't need to use my mouth with, like a duck call, I like it. But I did get sick of pulling it down and blowing the call through it. So I just like actually a hood just to cover up my neck, sides of my neck, my ears, stuff that kind of stick out. But man, I use it this year. I really like it a lot. It's actually warmer than the midweight zip tee of Sitka's, which doesn't matter. It's not about comparing what's warm or not. It's just a little bit thicker as why. But I think it's gonna hold up for a long time, Austin. I just like it, and it's just like a solid brown, and I've kind of wanted to go to solids anyways. But anyways, that's the new piece that I was trying this year, extra large. And I used it on our hunt with the boys last weekend, and I like it a lot actually.
Money.
Yeah, super comfortable.
So did you still wear a t-shirt under it, or did
you? You know me, I have to.
Have you ever tried it on without a t-shirt?
I have. I just don't like. I'll tell you why I do that. Because when you sweat, I don't want to ruin the garment. I'm trying to make that thing last. I don't care about the little t-shirts I'm wearing. So like your armpit, your sweat, just starts stinging. Even if you wash it, it'll hold it in there. So I try to use that as like the first layer of defense. And they're so thin anyways. You can't. You can't even tell you're wearing those things anyways. Basically, it's a shirt that you don't want to wear when you look like me by itself. But yeah, you got a little happy with the old pulsators this year, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about pulsators before. We beat, having motion in your spread. We probably beat that dead several times. But there ain't nothing worse than hunting over statues. So, yeah. I had 4 pulsators at one time, and 3 of them died on me last year. And it wasn't like the batteries died or anything like that, but some of the pieces on there, the plastic pieces, they're real easy to break, even if you're really careful with them. I don't know. I don't know if I broke any of them or not. I think my wife broke one when she was pulling them out.
Did she just pull it by the cord itself?
No, not the cord.
Or the wires?
But I think she threw it in the boat or something, and it broke.
Wow. Throwing it around, huh?
Well, I don't remember. She'd probably get mad if
you're just blaming her for no reason.
I don't know what happened. Regardless, they're not the toughest decoys, and they're not made to be. So, anyways, I had to replace some of those. So yeah, I ended up getting 4 of those, and let me think. What else did I get? Well, I got those other spinning things last year.
The wing whacker? What are
they
called?
Wind whackers.
Wind whackers?
Those are from last year, but I got them towards the end, and Harrison's one that recommended those ones to me. But anyways, like I said, I mean, sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't. But like I said, you got to have something. Everybody knows that. So there isn't a day that I go out that I don't either have a pulsator or a jerk string. Spinners come in and out when we can use them, but those are key. But like I said, those aren't new. Probably the biggest thing I'm excited about as far as that's new for this year is my 20 gauge.
Yeah. Yes, that is a big purchase. How could we forget?
So, yeah, we bought those guns together. The Benelli Ethos with the best treatment on it. So I'm excited to use that. I'm overdue for 20 gauge. I've been just using my my A5 for I don't know, 4 years or something like that. And it's gonna be kind of hard to beat, but I think with just having a lighter gun, lighter load, quieter, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
So especially
what choke are you gonna put in
with what we're shooting.
They gave you 5. Then you have 5, don't you? I had 5.
I have the full in there right now, the factory full. So we'll see how that does.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the old heavy 12 does to him
through the cryo.
Yeah.
Curious. I mean, I know what it's gonna do when it hits them. I'm curious the pattern it throws. I just ran out of time, dude. I was wanting to go pattern. I wanted to go pattern my 20 with the new Code Black Duck in it.
Yeah.
But the boys were shooting Code Black Ducks out of their front keys. Nasty.
Really?
Oh, dude. Wait till you see the footage. Every shot, his feathers.
Okay, so last year
those boys, dude, shot amazing.
There was some guys that were really upset about, like what we were doing. Well, specifically what I was doing to birds. But I never changed my choke all year last year. And in the beginning of the season, I feel like those birds are just, the feathers are so much softer or something.
The down's not as thick.
It's not. It ain't the same. It ain't the same because I did not change my choke last year, and I shot birds at the same distance all last year. And opening day, that gun was just like cutting birds in half, and which was crazy.
Yeah,
like
it is. It's 100% the down, dude.
Yeah,
because look at they molted. they're getting their feathers. I mean, look at and people don't know this though. That's the thing. It's just knowledge, because the birds at the very beginning are still pin feathered up for the first like month and a half. You, as a taxidermist for someone, you skin them open, you look, it's all pin feathered, meaning the feathers have not fully formed, so it's not as dense. So yeah, it's not even that. That's why that was doing that, and then it didn't later because people are like, oh, I don't remember what they were saying later, but like, oh, you've changed chokes. And it's like, no,
nope.
It's the same one. Except the birds are more plumed out now and kind of not so pin feathered up. So I don't know, but now that you're shooting at 20, I don't think it's not going to do that. I don't think. It's just that choke combo is pretty nasty. We still haven't seen what yours is doing with that choke, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like you're shooting slugs out.
Yeah, I don't know why it would be so tight, but it seems pretty gnarly.
And Joel from Surviving Duck Season is doing an amazing series, shotgunning series. I haven't watched all of them because they're longer too, but I will at some point. But I did watch the one. If you look, it says slow-mo, and did you watch that? He's doing the shot string. Dude, it's nuts. I mean, I've heard it. People have said it, but no one can prove it that I know of visually. There was, I'm not going to say the names, but there was ammos that were at 30 yards, were already like 15 feet long, the shot string.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just sparse, thin.
Yeah.
Even if they went through it, I don't know if it probably wouldn't kill him.
Yeah.
Dude, I will say this one, and it doesn't matter. What's the name of that? Fiocchi. Dude, Fiocchi was like at 30 yards, whatever it was still like less than a foot.
Holy smokes.
I mean, it was like this, like because he has measurement patterns. It's really a neat video.
See, the string length, that's more interesting to me
me too.
Than well, I mean, the circle matters. The circle for sure matters.
Right.
But like, that's interesting because like you said, I haven't seen anyone do that.
It's just interesting is what it is. And I do know it matters. But who knows how many videos? I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit. You could put up thousands of those videos and try all different scenarios because you can only put so much in one video.
Right.
But I don't even care. I'm going to tell Joel this. I don't care if your videos prove the theory wrong with the Power Master Cold Black Duck. I said, I know what I see and I know what it does. Because like you said, there's one thing you're looking behind the amp when it hits the plate or the paper. And you see how nice that is. That needs to look good. But then you look at the side, and that has its look too. But you also have when it hits the bird, and you're using it in the field. It's a big, I mean, that matters. So, and the thing with the Cold Black Duck, it's not about constriction. It's about holding the wad back.
So I mean, when you have stuff where you feel like it hits them hard, it must be holding a shorter string.
Has to be.
Because if you're shooting this bird and you're only getting half of that load on that bird, you know what I mean? You're not going to be hitting them as hard, you know?
Well, and it's so spread out.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Instead of like,
but I mean, if you're swinging through or if you shot in front or whatever, you're only getting a portion of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. No, man, those boys had them in. Both of them, Morgan and Nathaniel, every bird feathers. Bow, bow. I mean, and there wasn't no wounded birds.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
And they were just going, Jake was about to flip out. I go, dude. He's like, I'm sorry, but this is unbelievable. Did you see that? I'm like, I've been seeing that. You know he is. He always said, did you see that? Like you weren't there.
It's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah. But he has it on his Frankie too, so I'm excited. That was a long ways around to say that that's what I got in the Frankie this year. Because I tested it last year in that 12. Now I know. I'm like, okay. And now that I know what it does with the Frankies, should be pretty good. But anyways, that's new. And that's what we're going to shoot 20s this week. And I'm excited to see. But again, the lead's going to be a little different. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And now that we're tracking our ammo, I'm almost kind of nervous. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever. I feel like I'm going to be in the 30s,
I mean, there might be a dip in the front, you know, for me or whatever, but I don't feel like it'll be bad.
Yeah. Just don't think about it too much.
It's totally different than like how it used to be. You know what I mean? So yeah, the speed, that will be a factor. 'Cause what is it? We're shooting. We'll see now. That says 1500. but I don't think all the stuff we have. Nope. See, that's a different load. See, the top one is 1350. That's where you got to be careful.
I know people think that don't matter. It matters big time.
Look at the bottom one, the load in
Yeah,
it,
15. I know.
and then the top
And
one.
we talked about this. Would you rather have speed or load? I personally, it makes more sense to say load because it's more hitting them. I like speed because I'm used to 1500, right? 1450, 1500.
I think for me, now this might just be for me. I don't know. I feel like for me, consistency, like using the same gun, the same ammo, and using it instead of switching back and forth between guns and ammo.
It's gonna get you.
I think that helps me more than anything. That's kind of why, like, I want to commit to just shooting the 20 at first and just like dial in. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's the choke, the bead, the gun itself, the ammo, whatever, like, get dialed in with that.
Yeah.
And then, and it might not be as big a deal as I'm making a sound or whatever.
No,
but
it is. Well, guys, I'm sure there's guys that will say it's not, but it 100% is. Me and Harrison have this talk, dude. It 100% is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It just, you go from shooting a 12. I should say it's really not it's the speed. So if you go from a 12 and you're shooting 15 and then you go down to 20 and the ammo happens to be 1350, that is definitely making, it might be super minimal.
Now it's going to make a bigger difference at those further ranges though. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, not no 20 yards.
If you're always shooting birds 20 yards and in, then you will never notice.
Right.
You know, but you probably will notice if you're taking shots at 40.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But anyways, trying to think if I got anything else new. I think for me right now, a lot of it is just not fine tuning. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just keeping the things I have that I like in tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
right.
like
maintaining,
getting reads, getting parts for the same motion decoys I have, you know, just like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, I got to clean my calls too.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it does change this. By the second day, my hybrid was already starting to get just super raspier sound because there was, and I looked in, I was like, oh, it's time. Reed stuff had fallen in there. We were sitting on these cattail things and it was falling in there.
Yeah.
It's totally rasped up the call. I'll tell you what I got new. You'll be able to see. I'll probably show you the video, a little sneak peek of that. Some of that video. It's not done yet, but it should be out Wednesday or Thursday. But I could not believe how hard that Kirk McCullough turned those birds. When the JJ Lairs was sucking them in. I'm not saying that, but there's just times they just kept going, right? And I was like, oh well. And then I thought, I'm gonna try it. I grabbed it. In fact, I say it in the video. I think I grabbed it. And they were like, oh, you're blowing something different. They weren't saying it sound bad. They're just like, it's so different. Man, they were about 200 yards down the river going away right up on the water. And I hit that thing. It was almost like, was that just luck? But it happened 3 different times.
Yeah.
And boom, like this, and come literally all the way back into the decoys. I was like, okay. Different sounds do something. Something, you know, if it's the hen that's leading the pack or whatever the lead bird is, something because that's all it takes is that front one to peel out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I like to see that in action.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm gonna grab off the bat every time, but if it ain't working, switch over and see what happens. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I can't really think. I mean, there's stuff. I'm excited with the new lens.
You have new camera. Oh, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
You got new camera gear.
Yeah, and I just got this in the day, this case to put that in.
Nice.
Which is when I rented, that's what it was always in. But I had to buy my own, obviously. But yeah, here she is. You know what's funny? This means nothing to anybody unless you're into camera stuff, right? Like, who cares? But I've actually pulled this thing out and like looked at it like 3 different times.
That is a monster.
Yeah. Well, this comes on.
It's got your name on it.
It does. I put it on there, baby. No one trying to steal that. But yeah,
it's like a telescope.
Took me about a year to save for this thing. But the footage or the videos that are pictures that come from it, it's like
just use a GoPro.
I know, right? Well, this is, again, just pictures, but
Oh yeah.
actually I am going to do video with, you can do really amazing. Those real close, tight shots you see, slow-mo, that's part of the reason I like to keep this, like, maybe after we get our limit, try to get some stuff. If they're really doing it good, this would have been perfect in Idaho. But
you didn't have it yet, right? Okay.
remember they sent me the broke one.
Yeah.
It was used and it was broke. Sent it back. Just
Yeah.
Problem is, this is a new one. I had to spend all that much more money on it. But
yeah, we should be able to get that or do that a couple times.
think
you know,
so.
like
yeah,
get a limit and then just stay out there and then just get shots of them. You know.
yeah, I think so. But yeah, that was a big deal for me. Also, it's like if money comes in from YouTube or whatever it comes in from, it's gone. But I just got a different drone too today. Yeah, that other one's shot. I'm gonna charge it and hopefully we can do something with it.
It don't work anymore, just the battery, or
it
what?
does, but I think because it's so old, how technology is. Once they start getting outdated, it's just like you can't even, like, when you update it, it'll work for a little bit and it will like get lost. It's not what you want to happen. So I'm gonna keep it. I don't know if you want to use it for anything. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of it. I mean, I probably could sell it for a couple $100 max, maybe $3. But I thought I'll just keep it for, I don't know, if you ever wanted to take it on an elk hunt or just to get some cool footage or whatever. I don't know. But
So it works. It just don't work very long.
Right. It seems like the batteries don't last, and then it can get lost. Like, it has a return to home feature on them, but it's like, it seems like if you're not updating all the time, it's just constant updates and it's bogging it down like an iPhone does. When you keep updating and it's an old phone, it just gets to the point it just don't work anymore. So it works, but this one, the one that I got, actually the one Dustin has, that's what made me like, dude, it's time. I didn't realize how bad mine was compared to when I seen his, because mine's like 4 or 5 years old. Instead of, I had to plug my phone to the remote. And so if you're getting phone calls or you don't have service, you're having to deal with different things. This is the remote, has the screen this big on the remote for the remote.
Gotcha.
So this is, I don't need this. Yeah. And it's like this big and you just do everything right there. The follow me feature is amazing on it. Like if we click it on the boat or us when we're walking, it's perfect. So
nice.
It's really nice. I called Dustin Day. I was like, this is the one, right? He's like, yeah.
This isn't new, but the old school tried and true decoy backpack I got it repaired today. That's what I was talking about. It's just getting things fixed that I like.
You picked it up today, huh? Did you do a good job?
Yeah, he like triple stitched it.
Oh, really?
Like the top of it, the seam had just ripped open, and I don't know how
That's
or why.
the Avery bag, right? I like that one.
Yeah, I've had that for a while. I think that was one of the first bags I bought.
Those are hard to find. I've looked them up. I've almost bought it just because I like, for some reason, I like it better than the Refuge Runner. It seems a little more tighter on you, like up on your back instead of sagging.
It's not a huge bag. A lot of those bags are market like big, like carry a ton of decoys. This one's only a 12 slot bag, and it's got a little pocket for your gun on the right side, and that's it. It did have the pockets for the spinners, but I cut them off because I didn't like it because it has so much like material. It just bugged me. Don't ask me why, but I cut them off. So it's just
you like cutting things off, huh?
Well, if I don't like it, like it wasn't enclosed. It didn't like close at all. So it was just
fall out
it was
anyways.
a big flap.
Yeah.
And like 70% of the time, I never put a spinner in there, and I couldn't put my seat in there, and I could put the spinner inside. So it's like I didn't really need it, so it lopped it off, and I put the seat in between the bag.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, normally like my go-to, if I'm gonna go by myself or whatever, if I'm gonna use a backpack instead of a cart, I'll take one of the decoys out, and I'll put my dry bag in one of the slots, and then I'll stick my seat in the middle, and then the rest I'll have decoys in there. That's all you need.
Oh,
got your gun.
I upgraded. I finally got a seat this year.
Oh, dude, it's about time.
So if you ever have to sit in it, it's already brand new for you.
I can't believe that. That thing, you know what's crazy? is that seat didn't last that long.
Yeah, probably like 3 years.
I have my original seat from what did we say? 15. This is 22, so like 7. What is it? 7 years? Yeah.
I don't know if this one's gonna last very long, dude. Though I was sat on it. The cushion ain't very good.
Really?
And it feels like I'm like this feels thin.
Do you
like
think
the base layer.
Do you think when the seat's in the water and you're sitting on it, it gets soaked and it ruins that
That's
plywood?
what mine did. It got that plywood and softened it, and that's why it just went like
because
over.
I normally try to keep it out of the water, and I'm wondering if that's why it's lasted longer.
It must be because mine's always in the water a lot of times.
I mean, it's been wet a million times.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The funny thing, I don't even probably sit on my seat.
Yeah,
as
you
much
hardly
as most
sit
people.
on your seat.
I use it for my gun. Like I'll lean against it or put my knee on it.
Yeah.
I don't really sit in it.
Yeah.
Now there has been a few people that have sat on that seat. That may or may not be what has caused that. I do not know, but no, I finally got a new one. But I'm like, I felt it. I was like, this feels cheaper made, and like the base, whatever that base is, which I thought was plywood, it feels like it's about 1/8 of an inch,
quarter inch,
yeah, no less. I'm like, dude, this ain't gonna last. But they're cheap anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, got some stuff coming up. Pretty excited about. Get some hunting in and make some more memories.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything else I want to cover in this episode unless you can think of anything. I guess one thing we'll close with is what will this year hold? You know, it's like
what's your goal for this year?
Like as far as
do you have a goal like
birds wise?
No, not numbers
or types of birds or just
yeah. Is there anything specific that stands out in your mind that's like, I hope like this happens or anything like that? Like specifically or not really, just hoping for a good season?
We have some plans. I don't know if should I throw them out there. I think I've already thrown it out there. I definitely would like to get a brant. And I think that will be an amazing trip. I really hope you can pull it off. I really want to spend, I don't feel like a day or two's long enough, but we might be able to pull it off. But I think it's because of the setting, how beautiful that is. Mm-hmm. It's something you don't see nobody do.
Yeah.
You got coast, you got redwoods, so that is a goal. I want that to happen this year. We've been talking about it this is the third year. We thought it was going to happen last year, and then it didn't happen. We got too green hungry. And then
it's like we forgot about it or something.
Yeah, we just put other things. I put other things in front of it for sure. But
did we go anywhere, or were we just here?
I don't know what you were doing, but I did. Because when the season was open, I was rolling pretty good. So,
oh yeah,
that, and I want to do that little spot we're talking about where we're gonna go shoot. Good chance we'll shoot
Barrows.
That Barrows goal night. Yeah, that scene, that colored water, just everything about that. Just I'm excited about. So yeah, that's my two things. I mean, bands. It's like I'd be more than happy to shoot more bands. I don't know, but I'm more like the experience and the visuals, like the places we're gonna see that we haven't maybe been. That's what mine is this year.
Yeah. New places can be fun. They can be not fun.
Yeah.
But like,
well, let me say this: if the scenery is beautiful, it sure helps.
It really helps.
Because when we went, me and Caleb were doing our thing, dude. I will say we didn't kill one bird up there, but I will tell you this: the scene was incredible, and it really did take a lot of the sting away.
Yeah,
and the journey.
That's what I'm saying. Like it can be fun. I've killed ducks in ugly places. That was really fun, and I've not killed ducks in really pretty places, and it was fun. But when you get both, it's like it's just like heaven.
It is,
and that's why some of the spots we go back to. Probably like every year. That's why it's beautiful and we kill birds there.
Yeah.
So, so I'm looking forward to going to places we've been. I'm looking forward to going to places we haven't been. And learning new spots, new territory can be, like I said, it can be fun, or it can be, in your opinion, a waste of time at sometimes. Because I've done that before, where like you go somewhere, it's like, there ain't, this spot ain't that great, blah blah blah. Then someone goes there at a different time, and it's great. So it's like, don't ever be closed-minded on a spot, But that being said, hopefully the timing's right this year. Hopefully the birds are around this year, and nothing bad happens as far as, like, I don't know. I feel like we're pretty safe with everything, But
well, success is a part of it. I don't want to say a small part. I don't think it's a small part, but
yeah,
I think what we were talking about is we felt so good about last year, felt very successful except for one trip, and even then it wasn't that bad really. It felt like it in the moment, but what will we be like this year? Like, is that just because we're getting to be better hunters, better callers, building up?
I think it's some, but it's definitely not all of it. I think some of the success is before you even go out, like timing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's why I say timing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because you can be in the right place at the wrong time, and you could be, Kirk McCullough and not kill any birds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Better hunters, meaning we're smarter, we've learned more, we know where to be, when to be there. We increase our odds of success,
Yeah.
But my question is that true, or do we just get lucky? You know what I mean? Like, are we getting better, or is it just we just got
what you mentioned as far as the brand and the barrows? I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like pretty confident.
Yeah, I do too.
In those. What would be like awesome for me? What would be like top everything off more than anything is getting a storm Wigeon. I'm saying it now, and I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it until I kill one. That is like my all-time right there.
A storm Wigeon or Eurasian?
No, well, both. They're
pick one,
they're neck and neck, but I'm going to go with storm.
Okay.
I'm going to go with storm, like a real storm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not really doing my part because I'm not making like any concrete plans on places where that has a good chance of happening. You never really know, but
I can think of two we're going this year that couldn't happen.
Yeah, but that's not like what I guess.
But it's Wigeon though.
You can't really target it, I guess.
Well, you can't. You can just go where Wigeon are,
right?
And that's your best you can do.
Yeah. But you never know.
Spot it and hunt that pond the next day. That would be your chance.
Yeah.
Odds are that bird's going to go back there.
That's true if nobody killed it.
Yeah.
That's true. We think we seen one last year, right?
We know we've seen one.
I never seen
I thought that was a Eurasian, though.
Oh, was
I
it?
said it was a Eurasian.
Oh, yeah.
It was. For sure it was. It's obvious. You can't.
That bugs me so bad.
I shot at one 2 years ago.
It's probably good that I didn't get to shoot at that bird.
The Eurasian?
Yeah. Because it would have been fine, but it would have just not been good. But it's like with last year, here's what I will say. I'm hoping, now I hope I don't eat my words, but I am hoping that I get an opportunity to shoot at something like a Euro or like that hybrid. Because literally twice last year, you shot at a Euro, Travis shot at that Brewers, and I never had a chance to shoot at either one of those, which is fine. But like,
shouldn't limit it out so quick, dude. Okay.
Oh man, both times I was limited too.
Okay, did you watch the whole thing?
Yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every ounce of it.
Yeah.
Did you see what? Tell what you see.
I'm not gonna say like, oh, it was a chip shot.
No, that's not what I mean.
But it was.
I'm saying, could you tell I was hitting it every time?
It's hard to remember now. Like
I'll never forget it.
I remember. See, I never
remember
really,
when he was just sitting there floating like that.
I never felt like I got a real good look at his like head.
Oh, Well, again, it may have not been. It may not.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, that's all on you because, like
I
I said, I know it was a Wigeon, but I did not.
It must have got you wound up when I said Eurasian.
Maybe.
Because if you didn't know, then why were you like, get him? You're like freaking out behind me.
Did I say that?
Oh, you were yelling at me.
Oh, you would have been 5 times worse.
Oh, I know I would have.
It'll be like a normal bird, and you'd be like, kill him! Like,
no, I know that. You're not telling me nothing I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it almost made it, and you've told me stop doing that because it does actually make you.
It jacks you up.
It does. It makes you all like.
It jacks you up. Pintail, kill him! It's like, dude, shut up. I know what it is. Like, be quiet. Which we don't do that anymore. But, yeah, even like getting excited over bird, it takes your mind like to what he's saying instead of just focusing on the bird. And
then when you're shooting at it, it looks like you're hitting it every time, and it ain't dying. It's every shot makes you more panicked.
Yeah.
And explain to you how jacked up that bird was. That's what I try to tell when I tell people about that. And if you don't remember, I loaded a 4th shell. That's how much he was.
Oh yeah.
He was hurt, dude.
Yeah.
And then I kept thinking, I will walk 5 miles if I see that bird go down and take Rocky. Never. Remember, he barely fluttered out of sight, barely moving. Any minute he's
we
gonna
watched him for like a minute, like a literal 60 seconds.
Watched him walk out of my life forever.
And there he goes. He's going down. He's going down. He's going down.
That's exactly what I
Oh, man.
I'll cry for that one.
But yeah, and then actually,
I think that was my 20 gauge too.
I did feel bad on that, but for whatever reason, when Travis missed that duck, I had like a sinking feeling in my like heart.
Because we could have shot. Or were you limited?
No, I was limited.
Well, I wasn't. It was right there. I could have shot too.
The thing is, though, that was just one of them things. Them babies were going all around that bird.
Yeah, I know. What, 70% of their bodies, 60% of their bodies underwater? Mm-hmm. It's so hard to kill them on the water. Mm-hmm. But anyways. Well, I guess we can end it there. We'll see. I guess we'll have the stories to tell.
Yeah.
Kind of wondering, what it's going to be. What's the story's going to be.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about duck season and the chase. It's because the anticipation.
You never know.
You never know. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next one.